What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs just got a very positive injury update ahead of the season opener in Brazil. We'll talk about it right after this. Ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back into another video on my channel. Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs play a football game this week. They open the season this Friday in Brazil against the Los Angeles Chargers. And the football season is here, man. I mean, it's right there. The Chiefs are practicing in preparation this week for the Los Angeles Chargers. Andy Reid opened up by saying he looks forward to the challenge of playing the Los Angeles Chargers. But we did get an injury update from our guy, Nate Taylor, over at ESPN, saying Andy Reid said the lone player on the active roster who is not expected to participate in today's practice is rookie Jalen Royals, still dealing with knee tendonitis. We'll get to that in a second. But then Pete Sweeney, now with the KC Star, followed up and said Jalen Royals was on hand for the Chiefs' first practice of the week on Sunday without a helmet, watching to the side. Both Jack Cochran and Omar Norman-Lott were working. Those were two players that were also a little bit banged up, but Pete Sweeney did clarify that they're participating. And then Andy Reid also mentioned how Hollywood Brown should be good to go because he was dealing with that ankle injury throughout the preseason, didn't really get that much work. They asked Andy Reid about that, and he said, you know, he's one of those veteran guys. We're not too worried about him. He should be able to jump right back in, and he has no limitations. He's on track to play versus the Los Angeles Chargers. So this is great news for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, everyone's dealing with injuries right now. The Chiefs, though, made it out of training camp and preseason relatively unscathed. Some teams lost good players for the season, but the Chiefs, that did not happen to them. So that's a positive thing. But with the Rashee Rice suspension now being official and he'll miss the first 6 games of this year, it's important that the wide receiver room is as healthy as possible moving forward without Rashee Rice for this time being. And although Jalen Royals is dealing with that knee tendonitis, it sounds like Andy Reid is on the rather optimistic side for his injury. He's not going to be able to go this week, it sounds like, but Andy Reid did make it sound like, you know, he's close. He's just not quite there yet. Doesn't think he's going to make it for this one, but doesn't sound like something that should keep him out for too long. And keep in mind, if the Chiefs thought this was a significant injury for Jalen Royals, they probably would have put him on IR already, because for IR, you got to be on there at least 4 weeks before you're brought back. Clearly, the Chiefs don't think he'll be out more than a couple weeks at the absolute most. So that's a good thing. But now you have Hollywood Brown, who's back and practicing, and he's healthy after missing most of the preseason. And that's a good thing, again, because you're going to need all hands on deck in the wide receiver room. And that leaves you with a group of Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jason Brownlee, Nico Remigio. And honestly, guys, even though it's not ideal to be without Rashee Rice and Jalen Royals for week 1, I feel a lot better about the wide receiver group this year without Rashee Rice than I did last year. Obviously, when the Chiefs lost Rashee Rice last year, was not expected with the injury. And so they lost him for the season, didn't really have a ton behind them that forced them to go and trade for DeAndre Hopkins. But, you know, the Chiefs were bracing for the loss of Rashee Rice for an extended period of time this year. They went out, they picked up some talent at wide receiver, including Jalen Royals and Tyquan Thornton on that futures deal that they signed him to last season, I should say. Tyquan Thornton showed out. I think he's going to contribute heavily. I think we're going to get a heavy dose of Tyquan Thornton in week 1, Hollywood Brown as well. And then I think, you know, how can you not be excited about Xavier Worthy in year 2 for him? I mean, after what he built up last year, I think you have to be incredibly excited. I'm not worried about this group of pass catchers in week 1. And obviously the games will get tougher following this season opener versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And then it'll be a little bit more important that you get Jalen Royals back. But I think this group of pass catchers is fine. I think Mahomes can work with this as long as the offensive line is as solid as we saw in preseason, and as long as the running game is better than it was last year, which it's not going to be hard for that to happen. And then you also have the tight ends, Robert Tonyan, Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, like very, very solid group, guys that I think are going to contribute. And they're just going to make things easier while you're dealing with some attrition in the wide receiver room right now. Look, guys, this is not ideal for the wide receivers. We want to see Hollywood, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy all on the field at the same time, Jalen Royals too, but mainly those three because we thought we were going to see them last year. We didn't get to see them play together at all. And I know a lot of Chiefs fans are anxious. They want to see it. We're not quite there yet, but it could be a lot worse than this, right? And I think this group of pass catchers, Patrick Mahomes can absolutely work with. And then I was really happy to see that it sounds like Norman-Lott doesn't have any limitations. We know that the Chiefs were trying to have him put on weight and play nose tackle during the preseason. And then he had that ankle injury that he was dealing with, and that combining with him putting on weight, it just felt like that zapped his explosiveness. You were making him less effective by taking him, this guy that out of college was supposed to be this quick, twitchy interior pass rusher that came in on third down, and you're trying to make him something completely different. But then we saw that the Chiefs traded for Derek Nottie. I'm not thrilled about Derek Nottie being back, to be quite honest with you. I already made a video talking about that. But if there's one positive thing about it, it means that he's your nose tackle, and then we can scrap this whole idea with Norman-Lott trying to be a 3-down defensive tackle, move him back to what he does best. And hopefully we get to see some more flashes of him in week 1, because I think he has a chance to be really good. And they talked him up at the beginning of camp, the coaches did, as a guy that was going to contribute heavily. And I hope he does. Sounds like he's healthy. But guys, as far as an injury report goes for week 1, this is about as clean as you could have hoped for. I mean, again, it could always be worse, because you look at the Los Angeles Chargers, and they lost Rashawn Slater, their starting left tackle, who's really, really good, to a torn ACL, or was it a torn patellar tendon, I think, maybe. I can't remember what the injury actually was. Significant knee injury, though. That knocked him out for the year. And that really, I think, changed a lot of people's predictions when it came to the Los Angeles Chargers and what they're going to do this year. And now that looks to be a much more favorable matchup for Chiefs defensive line that I think we have questions about. So I think the injury report is favoring the Chiefs here in this situation. Lots of good news prior to that week 1 game. But yeah, definitely let me know down in the comments below what your guys' thoughts are on this injury update from the Kansas City Chiefs. What's your concern level for the wide receiver room on a scale from 1 to 10? Honestly, I have zero concerns about it, but I definitely want to hear from you guys what your thoughts are below. But that's all I got for this video. So all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com for more. And last but not least, you can follow me on Twitter at ShowMeFB. That's all I got for you guys in this one. I'll see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.